A very good morning, dear children. Today we are going to start with chapter 4, Current, Electricity and Magnetism. We know that all substances are made up of atom. What is an atom? An atom is the smallest particle that consists of a central region which is called as the nucleus. As you can see in the picture, the central region is made up of two particles. One, positively charged proton, and second is no charged or neutral neutron. So the nucleus of every atom consists of positively charged particles and no charged particles. This nucleus is surrounded by shells or orbits or orbitals. These orbits consist of negatively charged electrons which keep moving in a circular motion. Charges of every atom can be divided into two types. One is static charge and second is moving charge. Static charge means the charge which cannot move from one place to another, that is protons. Protons are positively charged particles which cannot be moved or which cannot be transferred from one atom to another. That is why they are called as static charge. Whereas moving charges are the electrons or the negatively charged particles. The negatively charged particles or the electrons can easily be transferred from one atom to another. Because they move from one atom to another, they are called as moving charges. Every atom has different number of electrons as shown in this picture. Hydrogen, that is denoted as H, has 1 electron. Helium, that is denoted as He, has 2 electron. Carbon, denoted as C, has 6 electron, and neon, that is denoted as Ne, has 10 electrons. When the electron is being transferred from one atom to another, the particles or the atoms, they get charged. As you can see on the left hand side, the atom is giving away its electron. Because it is giving away the negative charge particle or the electron, it itself becomes positively charged. Whereas the atom on the right hand side is taking up the electron, it is taking in negative charged particle and therefore it becomes negatively charged. So the atom which is giving away the electron becomes a cation or a positively charged ion, and the atom which is taking the electron becomes an anion or a negatively charged ion. So anything which is taking in negative or accepting electron becomes negatively charged or anion, and anything which is giving or is donating becomes a cation or positively charged ion. Electricity can be generated with the help of the atoms present in the substances. When the electrons are made to move from one point to another, that actually generates electricity. We know that water flows from a higher level to a lower level. We also know that heat is transferred from an object which has higher temperature to an object that has lower temperature. So transfer normally is possible from a higher level to a lower level. Similarly, charge or electrons also move from a higher level to a lower level. So if two objects are connected with the help of a wire, one object which has higher electric level, from there the electrons will move to an object which has lower electric level. This level is nothing but the potential. So electrons normally move from a higher potential to a lower potential. Okay, and this difference in the potential is called as the potential difference. When the electrons move from a higher potential to a lower potential, that actually generates electricity. So we need two things for electricity. One is electrons moving and second is potential. So as we've already seen that when electrons move from a higher potential to a lower potential, that is when electricity is generated. This moving of electron or the electrons which are moving are nothing but they generate charge. This charge has a unit of coulomb. When charge moves from one place to another, we have current generated. The unit of current is ampere. And the current will only flow when there is potential difference. The unit of potential difference is volt. So for electricity to be generated, there needs to be three things. One is moving charge, because of which current will be generated, and potential difference. So current and potential difference, these are the two things which are very important for electricity to be generated. This is a picture which is taken from your textbook. If you look at 4.1a, that shows a copper wire which is simply connected to a light bulb. Even though it has electrons in the wire, there is no electricity generated, and that is why the bulb does not glow. In the second picture, that is 4.1b, the copper wire is connected to the light bulb, and along with that it's also connected to the cell. Here the light will glow. Now why is the difference in this even though the bulb and the wire is the same? As I already told you, for electricity to be generated, there needs to be charge or electrons moving from one end to the other, and it also needs to have potential difference. In the first picture, that is 4.1a, there are electrons but there is no potential difference, and therefore there is no movement taking place. In the second picture, we connected a cell. A cell has two sides, as denoted it has plus and minus. Their potentials are different, so the cell brings about potential difference. And this potential difference helps the electrons to move from the higher level to a lower level, because of which electricity is generated. Cells are of different types. We are going to learn three types today. The first we are going to learn is the dry cell. The dry cell is used in radio sets, clocks, torches, etc. Dry cell. If in case we remove the outermost cover of the dry cell, we will find a whitish colored layer which is the zinc layer. The zinc acts as a negative terminal. The zinc layer has in the center an electrolyte. Electrolyte is nothing but it is a wet mixture of zinc chloride and ammonium chloride. What are these going to do? They contain negatively and positively charged ions, because of which charge will be generated. Below the electrolyte, in the center, we have manganese dioxide, a paste of manganese dioxide which is surrounding a rod kind of a structure, which is a graphite rod. The graphite rod is a positive terminal. So in the entire dry cell, we have the central part acting as a positive terminal, and we have the white zinc layer acting as a negative terminal. In between that, we have the electrolyte or the wet mixture, as I told you, of zinc chloride and ammonium chloride, which has negatively and positively charged ions. So because of positive terminal, negative terminal and the ions, there are going to be movement of the ions, because of which current will be generated. Okay, but the problem with the dry cell is that it is a wet pulp, or it is wet. That is why the reactions which take place, they are very slow. So large current cannot be obtained from these. However, these are very convenient to use, and they also last for a longer period of time. The second kind of cell we are going to learn is the lead acid cell. These are normally used in car, truck, motorcycles, etc. They can easily be recharged. This consists of two electrodes. One is lead, that is denoted as Pb, and the second one is lead oxide, denoted as PbO2. The lead consists of negative charge and lead oxide consists positive charge, and they are dipped in a solution of sulfuric acid. The potential difference between them is 2 volt, and that is why it is written on top of capital V. The capital V denotes volt, or potential difference is what it's showing. What happens is, because of the movement of charge between them, there is large amount of current that is generated. This large amount of current that is generated is the main reason why it is used in cars, trucks or motorcycles, and also it has the advantage that it can be recharged. We use gadgets that needs to be carried nowadays from one place to another, and that is why nowadays people use nickel cadmium cell, as is written on the battery, NiCd, that is nickel cadmium cell is used. It gives a potential difference of 1.2 volt and it is rechargeable. So these are the 3 types of cells we have learned. First is dry cell, second is lead acid cell, and the third is nickel cadmium cell. In the next class, we'll be learning about electric circuit. Thank you.